Okay, so let's talk about this topic, the overspending on your kids at Christmas. So something we wanted to talk about, and the reason is, um, you know, what is that? It's like there's this thing inside, at least inside of me, where I see something and I'm like, I have well overspent again for another year, right? Like I see something and I'm like, oh, that's so cute. She would love it. Or one of them would love it. And then it's only $10. And then you $10 yourself until you're like, oh my God, I've spent like hundreds of dollars. You find yourself in that trap almost. And I don't know what the psychology is behind that feeling. I mean, we can't be the only people who have that feeling.
Can I say something about that?
Yes, please.
I think sometimes deep down, I feel like I'm not the good mom. I'm not the best mom for them. So I feel like if I actually got something that would make them happy, somehow I'm becoming a better mom. So
like you're making up for a deficit of some kind.
Yeah.
Right. So, and maybe that's what it is that we all feel that way. We all feel that I'm not good enough for my kids feeling.
Well, at least that's how I kind of analyze this.
Yeah. It's a good point, and I think it's valid. And, something else that I've been thinking to try.
Tracy, are you in England?
She's got euros. So.
Euros.
Yeah, so that's a perfect point. So 600 plus on each child. So, and the thing is like, if you actually can afford it, then it's like, well, why not spend it? If I can afford it, why not? Mm-hmm. But I think for me, something I've been trying to change in my mind is, could I take that money and do something with them? Could I have an experience with them that would mean more than another thing sitting in the floor or sitting on the shelf, or that they play with for a little while and then it gets old, as everything tends to do. And that's something I've really been thinking about. And I am guilty. I did not do some really cool experience this year. I did not seek that out. So I'm totally guilty of the same thing. But that's something that has occurred to me is, what could I do with them? Like the gift is, we're going to go do this, and that's wrapped up or whatever. And then you give them that. And I'm not talking an amusement park. I'm talking, we're going to the movies, or, we'll go get our nails painted.
Or go hiking.
So Tracy said, I'd feel mean, right? You feel like you're giving them a crappy present. That's everyday stuff. But at the same time, then is everyday stuff really not good enough? Like,
what do you mean by everyday stuff?
So like going to the movies, getting nails painted, that stuff that you do all the time.
I don't know. That's not everyday stuff for me.
It's not everyday stuff for me either. So for me, we don't get to do that kind of stuff as much as I would like to.
Yeah.
So that's
everyday
why
stuff is that, I take them to school, pick them up.
Yeah.
And we come home and have good dinner, together, or we play in the backyard.
Yes. Yeah. And then,
or have a play date with the other child. I have 3, by the way. So
yeah,
it's really hard to go out anywhere.
And let's not forget that, she said after school movies and tea once a week, pamper night, nails painted, etc. once a week. Wow, you're doing really good, Tracy.
Yeah.
Hat is off to Tracy right now. Like, you're kicking some butt there.
So how many kids do you have? Oh, okay, 2. You have 2.
So
how old are they? Because mine is all like
5 and 3.
Oh, 5 and 3. Oh, okay. Nice.
So, and I have 3 and 12.
I have twin boys who are 4, and I have a little girl 2.5 years old. So they are really small.
Yeah. And you know, I guess the thing about spending is at the end of it, you know, yes, I got them things I think they'll like. And I tried really hard to keep it under control. But I still spent more than we really should have. And you know, it's so difficult. It's so difficult to be in the store and see something and go, wait a minute, don't buy that, don't buy that.
Yeah.
You know, and my husband said, does it have pieces? Don't get it. Does it does
It has to be one piece.
does it have pieces? Do not get it.
Like
Does
the
it
Legos.
have, yeah.
Oh, I hate stepping all over on the floor. It hurts like crazy.
And
Oh,
does it
those little
have,
pieces.
he says, does it have stickers? Don't get it.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
He's like, does if you can see the potential for it being all over the house and not actually being played with, but just being dismantled and all over the house, do not get it. And he was, I mean, I think he's right. He's on to something there. That's a fair point.
Mm-hmm.
But, you know, I do want to point out, though, that there was a period of time where we couldn't afford to, we really couldn't. We really, like, there was just, we couldn't.
Mm-hmm.
And I think back to that time sometimes, and I'm like, okay, could I have bought it then? Probably not. Would they have been worse off? Mm-hmm. They weren't at the time. You know, just because they didn't have the cool stuff, they weren't unhappy. And I know people say that a lot, but like, mm-hmm. It was true. You know, we literally had $5 in the bank. And and that's not like a happy place to be, by the way. That's not a happy place. And I was like panicked, you know, how are we going to manage? How are we going to survive? We did. We sold some stuff and we managed, and you know,
brilliant.
I don't know about that.
Oh, come on. You're very smart.
I mean, thank you, but I don't know about that. So, but we managed, and I watched my children playing with, I mean, I made my daughter a toy out of a bottle with a rock in it. And to be fair, she was 1 at the time. Mm-hmm. But that was not the toy I wanted to give my child. Okay. That was not what I wanted for her. But she had a blast with that bottle and rock.
Yeah. I mean, seriously, they're happy just cutting papers and gluing it together to make a Christmas ornament. I mean, that's what we did. And they loved it. I mean, we just put string through it and put like a, you know, circle and stars and, you know, things like that to make a kind of like, what do you call those long decorations? Garlands. Yeah, garlands. And they loved it. I mean, it's so simple.
But that's where you're a genius. You're a crafty genius.
No.
Yeah. Yeah.
But and then we cut papers to make, you know, shapes of like snowflakes and then put it on the wall and window. I guess because they are small right now, they find that's fun and still good, but they're starting to kind of wanting things. And that's kind of hard when I can, you know, when I don't want to spend that much of money, like that Pottery Barn choo-choo train rug that my William wants to buy. That's like a $300-something rug that they're gonna outgrow in like a couple of years.
Right.
And I didn't want to buy that.
Right.
But in a sense, like I feel like, gosh, you know, if I was totally rich, that would have been nothing.
Right.
But what does that teach my kid? You know, at the same time, if I buy it for him, it's like anything he wants, I'll get it.
Right.
I don't know.
Exactly.
So it's like it's always constantly like
yes. Yes, exactly. And we're always like, is this the right decision? Am I wrong? Will he look back and think, God, I never got anything? Or is he going to look back and think, or is he going to learn the lesson of mom's just going to buy me whatever? Like, it's such a challenge, I think. And Tracy's saying, I do believe we should tell our
Yeah,
children set things are
I'm
from
reading that. Yeah.
Santa. Yeah, and the rest are from us. When kids compare Santa brought me this and others are like, I've been really good and Santa only brought me this thing. My 3-year-old has an iPad. Some people were like, oh my gosh. Okay, well, so hold on. So I have thoughts on all of this. So I agree with the Santa thing completely because and honestly, so I have a 12-year-old. So I've been doing this Santa game for a long time. And I got to where I was like, I hate Santa because they lose a present from Santa. You can't be as outraged.
He gets all the credit.
Yeah. Santa gets all the credit for the good presents. Santa you can't be, it's like, well, it was from Santa. He can bring me another one. No, Santa cannot bring, yes, Santa cannot bring you another one. You have hurt Santa's feelings. And like, they're like looking at you like you're crazy, So you can't.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. He doesn't even exist and you don't get credit.
And like,
that's hilarious.
I love Santa. Yes, you do. Santa is right in front of your face. Santa's right here. Like, so I have this moment where I'm like, oh my gosh, like I hate Santa.
Talking about Santas, can I just interrupt?
Yes. Please.
Why do we have to pay for taking a picture with a Santa?
Thank you.
And it's like $30-$40. Crazy.
Right?
They should do that for free.
Right? Oh my gosh. I tell you what, man. Okay, so the iPad for the 3-year-old thing. So can I just say?
Oh, Laura, by the way, Rose is trying to get on.
I know. I've been working with her. So can I just say that the iPad thing? So my kid does not have an iPad, but she has, like, I got her like a toddler tablet. I found it for like $35. And we said, it's worth it because she'll leave our phones alone. She'll leave our, you're on the phone and they're ripping it out of your hand. So she'll at least have something that she can play with and watch her little baby Play-Doh videos, which is what she likes to watch. And it was only $35. So if she breaks it, if she destroys it, it's not the end of the world. So anyways, so that's, I think if you can, I'm not saying, I don't think that an iPad for a 3-year-old is the end of the world. And I think, it's technology that they're going to be exposed to, I think it's unrealistic to say.
What's your opinion about that too? Like, because technology is going to be around for the kids. And is it, do you think it's good for us to introduce that like early like this? Because, some, how do you say, like some moms are actually teaching their kids programming.
Right. And which is, a real skill, a really good life skill. So where
are my munchkins? The twins are at preschool and Hannah is downstairs with my nanny. I have a car problem today, so I have to take the car to the shop.
What's going on with your car?
It's making weird squeaky sound.
Oh, good.
My Sienna has a 99,000 mile on it, so I'm afraid.
Right.
But I want to just, because it's a winter time, I want to make sure that squeaking sound is not like regarding brake, and I need to make sure, because that's the only car we have.
Right. Sorry. So I'm trying to help Rose get in here.
Well, I am in Portland, and the Portland time is 9:20.
There it is. And for me, it's 12:20 p.m. I'm on the East Coast.
So Rose joined with a bub login.
Yes. Okay. So Rose, get on your, open the seat or click on the seat, and I'll talk to you. So Tracy, we have several people. This is our first blab, as I mentioned. We have several people who are trying to join. Oh wow,
5:20 p.m.
You've got an early bedtime. So my daughter won't even consider bedtime until like 8.
Well, our kids go to bed about like 8:30 p.m. So that is kind of late, isn't it? Used to be 7:30, but like.
Yeah. No, she's just a late natured. Like if I try to put her to bed earlier, it's just going to make it like a 2-hour ordeal.
Yeah.
That's just how it is. So what's the end result, or like what are we? You know, the I don't see that button. Okay, in the middle, you don't see a big button in the middle of the screen that says open seat.
Nice, Tracy, you got it. Oh, the sleeping pattern is really good for you.
Nice. So hold on, let me. What is this? Oh, I just gave you props. We're trying to get the no, that's me. I'm Bob Rose. It says go on air. Okay, yeah, see, go on air, Rose. Click go on air. Okay, so just to catch
honestly, this year I only bought like $1, a small package of chocolates for the kids for the Christmas present. And then last year I got a whole bunch of Christmas presents from like my sisters and relatives that I saved because it wasn't age appropriate.
Right.
So I'm gonna wrap them and then give it to them. But I don't know if I should say from Santa. Or from, auntie, like, I don't know.
Well, so that's something that Tracy was saying, was picking something reasonable from Santa, and then the other stuff being from you. And I really like that idea because, like she was saying, when you're at school and you're comparing notes, and Santa brought one kid, the newest game console, and another kid some great, a Segway, whatever, some huge thing. What are those things called? Those airboard things that they're Segways, but they're just they're like a skateboard and a Segway had a kid.
Mm-hmm.
Those things, when a hoverboard. Thank you. So when you now there's going to be a pop-up, Rose, that says allow. Click allow. Anyways, when yay! Thanks. So when you
oh yeah, when I gotta do the clap too. Clap, 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 clap.
when one kid gets a crazy present, another kid gets a crazy present, another kid's like, I got my favorite book. It does. It's such a, I think, a challenge. So I think it would be nice if we could universally all agree as parents for Santa to give an affordable, a nice, thoughtful present, but affordable. When the child is like, right. Whoa, Rose.
What was that?
Headphones, Rose. There you go. When the child is like, I've behaved all year too. Right, exactly. I've been good. What did I do wrong? I didn't get the cool thing.
Yeah. Oh, have you actually heard about that, like the elf thing?
Oh my God! Don't get me started on the elf.
I mean, some moms were talking about this elf thing, like this fad thing, like
it's called Elf on the Shelf.
Elf on the Shelf.
Yes, and I avoided it like the plague as hard as I could.
Yeah. Is that a new thing this year, or was it?
No, it's been quite a few years.
Okay.
So I really didn't want one,
mm-hmm.
and She thinks it's amazing. I mean, that's good. So I would love to hear a positive opinion on the elf. Our 12-year-old said, I really want to do the elf with the 3-year-old. I really want that to be our special thing. So I said, okay.
If you touch it, the magic is gone or something like that, right? You can't touch it.
Yeah, so of course my 3-year-old wants to touch it because she's 3 and it's a stuffed elf. So she, yay, Susan!
Yay! Last but not least.
We're all here. So of course my 3-year-old wants to touch it because she's 3. And so what we did to kind of fix that, so my daughter believes that tinsel is magic. She decided that all by herself. So she takes the tinsel off of the garland, so I do tinsel, I cut up garland, so it's the tinsel, and so she's been putting that all over the house, giving people magic. So she brings everybody magic, but if we have it, we could fly maybe. So what happened was she touched the elf once, and so I said, look, you made a mistake, but the important thing to make it right. So let's put some magic. Let's not touch him, but let's put some magic on him. So we took some tinsel and we put it on the elf. Uh-huh. And then she went in the other room and my husband hid it. And he was like, oh, it must have worked because he must have gone back to Santa. And then the next day he was in a new spot. Mm-hmm. So that's how we handled it. And she hasn't touched it since.
Oh, wow.
She really has been good about not touching it. And it's like becoming like a member of the household.
So do you only take it out during Christmas?
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know. I think we lost a listener.
Who?
Tracy?
Mm-hmm.
Is she gone?
Yeah.
Who's Tracy?
She joined us. She was.
Oh, she's a blabber.
Yeah, she's a blabber, and she joined us.
Oh, so maybe she needed to do something with her kids.
Yeah, that's a very real possibility. So.
Yeah. Hey guys, I'm sorry, but I have to take the car to the shop, so I have to leave.
Yeah.
Thank you, and
yes,
this is kind of fun.
Alexis,
kind of fun.
Alexis, I love your hair like that.
I do too.
It looks cute.
Oh, thank you.
It's so cute.
Yeah,
I love it. It looks very sophisticated and very attractive.
Yeah, thank you.
And Laura, this is awesome. So now we know how to do it. The next lab will be
okay.
Go ahead, Alexa. We'll talk.
Okay, bye. Wish me luck. Hopefully the car isn't in big trouble.
Yeah.
I hope not. It'll be fine.
Bye.
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 So so we've been talking about the overspending issue, and we had our blabber here talking.
Can I interject one thing?
Yes, please.
Is this happening to you guys too? But the talking is your mouth is not moving with your speech.
Yeah, it's really echoey.
No, it's not that. It is a little echoey, but as I watch you talk, your mouth might be closed and they're still talking, and then your mouth might be moving and there's no noise. You know what I mean? It's not lined up. It's like a movie you're watching where all the voices are not connected to the facial.
That's what just happened with you too.
Are you guys experiencing that?
Yeah, delayed.
Okay. I thought
it's a delay.
Okay.
So what we've talked about so far, you guys, is I was talking about, that compulsion to spend money on our children. And I was saying, it's really hard, especially at Christmas, when you're in the store and you see something and you're like, oh, they would love that. It's only $10 or it's only $20. And you think, oh, I could afford it. And then you, before you know it, you've spent way too much money or way more than you wanted to spend. And then Alexis said how sometimes she feels like she's not a good enough mom. And so she thinks like, well, if I get this cool thing, then, it kind of makes up for the deficit or whatever. Yeah. And then I mentioned that one thing I was thinking about was trying to spend that money on experiences with each other, like doing things with the kids, and you give them a gift that says, we're going to this movie on this date and we're going to do this or whatever. And then our blabber who had joined us, had said that she would feel that that was mean because she does movies after school regularly, and she does trips to get their nails painted once a week, which I was amazed. Actually, we were amazed that she was. It's like, way to pull that off, because that's not every day. Like, going to the movies and doing nails is not everyday occurrences for us. It's just not possible. So anyway, so I would love to hear you guys' opinion, your opinions about all of these things. Oh, and Tracy also suggested that the Santa deal, where Santa gives a gift that's affordable. You know, you heard the tail end of that.
Yeah.
So I'd love to hear y'all's opinions.
Well, I think that there's a lot of judgment around this subject, and I think it totally comes down to the parents and their preference on how they want to celebrate Christmas. So I think that the important thing is that you're staying within your budget means. I think that when you get outside, that's when it gets dangerous. But I think that if two parents want to spoil their kids at Christmas, that's their prerogative. I don't think, I was raised, my mom and dad always gave us really great, imaginative, wonderful Christmases, and they bought us nice presents, and we loved it. But I mean, in our situation right now, we're a one income family, so we have a budget, and we're learning ways to get creative within that budget. But I think that if parents want to have a ton of trees under the tree, there's nothing wrong with that if it works for them.
I feel like as long as it's not used to substitute their lack of time they're spending with them, kind of thing. I really agree with what both of you guys said. I think it's hard for grandma not to overspend. Paxton is my first. I mean, I didn't buy anything for anyone until I bought about a zillion things for Paxton. I wanted to keep going, man. I'm seeing all kinds of things. I want to get it all. It's so hard, And in fact, I don't know if Rose told you, Laura, but I found Carter's, because I bought some things for them, but they send me, almost on a daily basis, all their 50 to 70% off store-wide, all this. So I clicked it open. I saw all these really cool things. So I sent it to Rose. And I said, Rose, which one of these do you think, you'd want for PAX? And she sent it back. She had quite a few things, and I bought them all, but I was just like, and I wanted to keep going. I sent you another list, didn't I? I sent you, let's go, and I'm thinking it's adding up, but I'm thinking, God, I love this though. I love it. So much fun. But you got to put a ceiling on it. And what you guys said is true too. When you are home, you know what you need and what you don't need. When you go out there, all of a sudden you're convinced, and it's happened to me so many times, I'm convinced I need this. I'm convinced we need this. And I get home, I give a day or two, and the thrill wears off, and you look at it and think, why did I do that? I don't need it. Yeah. Now I owe that much more money, So it's dangerous to get out there in the rush of it. Everything. It's very contagious, like a disease.
Yeah. And I like what you said too about it being a substitute for time. I think that giving gifts should never be a substitute for time, ever.
I agree. I agree. And Rose, I don't know if you remember way back, like when we were in our homesteading era. Remember that? You had Kara the pony. I remember not buying a whole lot of books. We had to go to the library. Every week went to the library and got stacks of books, stacks. And every day we would read and read and read. Some we read so many times that you'd read them back to me. But I remember you guys having to wear hand-me-downs. And there's some pictures I'm embarrassed of today. I look at you guys, and you're wearing shoes that are too big, that are worn out, that sister wore. I mean, it is horrible. You've seen some of those. Brian's pants are way up to his knees almost, because he went through a growing spurt. Embarrassing things like that. But we didn't have the money. We just didn't have it.
No. And but like you said, I think it's the way that there are ways you can make it magical. There are special fun little things. You light a fire. You used to cut up little hostess pies. Or you just bring that magic in. All I'm saying is that I think that if parents are within their means, I don't think that, as long as it's not a substitute for time, you should be able to celebrate however you want to.
Absolutely. Well, that's good that you mentioned that. Just those little treats. So those pies were like $4 for $1. So I'd only take one out, microwave them, cut them up in little squares, and then you guys would eat them while I read a book. And that made a memory, and it was so cheap. It didn't cost anything.
What I'm talking about is not in your means. I think you're outside of your means and you're still buying things, because let's get real here.
Yeah.
Let's get real. Are we really all in our budgets? Like think about and I don't mean we, the three of us. I mean we as people, like the generalized we. I think a lot of people live outside of their means, particularly at Christmas. And I'm going to be super transparent right now and say that I have overspent our budget a little bit. Not a lot, but a little bit at Christmas. And it's not just on my kids. It's not just the kids, it's everybody.
Yeah.
So,
by the way, I love the little keychain that I got in the mail. I just got that yesterday. It's so cute, Laura.
Did you get yours, Susan?
Not yet.
Okay. Yours,
what?
It should be coming soon.
I love that.
I think it probably went to my grandpa's.
Yeah, it did.
Or my dad's, excuse me.
Your dad, yeah. So, it's a lot to spend. And the only place for me to cut is my kids, because they're the only ones getting like multiple presents. Everybody else, it's like you just do the one present and it's kind of done. But with the kids, if I did one present, I would feel like I had cheated them. I'd feel like, well, that's a really crappy Christmas. Mary, here's your one thing. So I guess what I'm saying is, for me, myself, it would be interesting to figure out what is it that drives you to do it anyway? You can't afford it. You shouldn't spend anymore. But like Susan said, it's so fun. You get caught up in that. And then not only have you spent too much money, now you got to find a place to put it. Now you have to actually be able to put it away.
I think it comes from a very, very basic drive of love for your child. You want to create memories.
I think so.
You want them to be happy. You want them to have fun. I think it comes, for the most part, from a pure place. Maybe that there might be a little bit of, twisted wanting to keep up with other parents and wanting your kid to have, I'm sure. But I think ultimately it comes from a place of love. You want your child to remember Christmases and to feel that warmth and magic.
I think so. I think
so.
So
What? So let's say you have a super tight budget, and you just can't get all the stuff you want to for your kids. But how do you balance it? What should you be spending money on at Christmas? What should you be like to teach at the end of the day, to teach the lessons of, you don't just get everything you want, you know what I'm saying? Like even my daughter knows if she goes to my mom, because if she comes to me and she's like, can I have this? I'm like, baby, we just can't do this today. Okay, I'll go ask Nani. Like she knows to go ask my mother to see if she can sucker my mom into getting it for her. And like, she's only 3 and she's already figured that out. And I'm like, no, we're not asking her. Like, if the answer is no, well, that's another day. You know what I mean? It's like kids know where to go. But, what should we be, what in your opinions, what should we be doing? Like, so that the message isn't Christmas is all about the stuff. If you don't have enough stuff, it wasn't a good Christmas. And go ahead.
Oh, what about doing something with kids? And I don't think they're too little to do this, where you are, instead of getting, they're giving something. They're giving to maybe less fortunate people in some capacity. It could be a nursing home, could be some maybe a poorer family. They'd be a part of you going and giving that little child a gift, a single parent family, something like that. And they as well at Christmas time get a gift or two or whatever, but the giving first. I don't know. Maybe there's a balance there where they can see, the results and how good it feels to give somebody else something, even if it's something that they wish they could keep, but they're giving that away.
I agree. I think it'd be great to make it like a process. The month of December is just a month. It's learning how to give, learning how to receive. It's all about just like loving or giving and receiving love. And I think it's that's up to the parents. It's that, it's kind of their responsibility to teach their kids how to do that. But I agree. I think that there's so many opportunities during, the month of December.
It's very true. Very true. And as the child gets older, it gets a little harder because they're saying, well, so-and-so has this, or how come they don't have, they have all this stuff that your kids come home after playing with their friends and they've got all this stuff. It's hard. It's a challenge as a parent to be okay with that.
That's something that we have a lot of trouble with because so we have a 12-year-old and it's like her class, and I don't know if this is like a countrywide issue or if it's just a local problem, but it's like all of her friends only care about electronics. And the way you are cool in school is that you have the best electronic device. So once upon a time, I remember there was if you didn't have the brand name shoes or the brand name jeans, do you remember that time where that was what made you cool? Now it's the iPad, the iPhone, the newest whatever device. And so she comes home and says, I'm not cool and I don't have any cool device. So all she wants an iPod, she wants a tablet, she wants a phone, and she doesn't have any of that. Well, and that's not true. So she has come upon them through her own devices to get these things. And then you have other grandparents who contribute, who get her the things, even though we didn't want that to happen. So, so she has certain things, certain technological devices that were gifted to her. And you know what I'm saying? So you have that outside pressure of your kid going, but everybody has it and I don't, and I'm the weird one, and I don't want to be the weird one, and you're like, builds character.
It does. You got a point there. Character is not built in kids anymore to work for something. That drives me insane. Of course, we're talking little kids, but as you get older, I was just thinking my brothers, little boys, I think by the time they were 9 or 10, they had their own cell phones, and I'm kind of it bothered me a little bit. It was not overly, of course, but it's kind of what's wrong with providing just a basic home phone so their friends can get a hold of them and stuff, just a basic. And when they're old enough to, I don't know if it's doing chores around the house or whatever, but why don't they earn money to have to pay their own monthly cell phone bill? I mean, that's not looked upon. That's not looked upon as a frill anymore, but it really is when you get right down to it. Because it's not just cell phone. Then there's iPad. Then there's a laptop, and then it goes on and on and on.
Yep. The complaint is that she doesn't have a laptop. She has a regular computer, and I'm like,
wow,
life is hard. You just have to get over it. Because I'm like, really, and I've got to give her credit. This year for Christmas, she said she didn't want anything. She's like, well, I've got my tablet, so I don't really want anything else. And,
what's... Oh, go ahead.
Yeah. So I was like, but on one hand, I'm like, that's cool that she doesn't want anything else. That's cool, I guess. But on the other hand, I'm like, that's all that matters, I guess, too, is your tablet.
Yeah.
And
what I think is interesting.
Our policy was we wanted her to work to earn that.
Well, and that's I think the important difference right there is there's a really fine balance between performance-based, if I do this, then I'll get what I want, as opposed to just teaching somebody your child the value of work, of hard work.
Yeah.
I think that's a very that's an interesting balance there to kind of, you don't want to instill kind of I think the whole idea behind Santa Claus and even Elf on a Shelf is if you do this, then you'll get this. If you're good, then you'll be rewarded. And it's not that I don't know how I feel about that. I really want to instill the value of,
Mm-hmm.
Right. And that was something that was challenging for us, was because we had told her repeatedly, yes, you may have a tablet. How much money do you have?
Yeah.
$20. Okay. Well, that's a good start. And we provided her with opportunities to earn that money and to provide value to get that money. And, then we got usurped by a family member, and it was given to her. And then, you know, she immediately stopped saving her money, spent it on a bunch of just stupid stuff, in my opinion. And then that was it. And now she has $0. And, you know, it's Christmas time. And you know what I'm saying? Like, so that's the thing for me that gets me is like, when you try so hard to instill it and then you get kind of gets
Well,
messed
I think
up.
that you should not be afraid to have some serious talks with your family members. It's hard to do, but I think that if you have values that you want to teach your children, then your family needs to back you up and support you in that.
Well,
and
that's where it gets challenging because it's not my family.
Well, but
and it's not his family.
Because still people, but you guys are still in charge of of what she gets and gets. If that's the case, I would just be like, I'm so sorry, but I mean, I remember I've had people do that to me. Or like, I'm sorry, but we can't accept this. And it sounds rude and it seems weird, but when it comes to lifelong lessons you're trying to teach your child, that's, you know, you, as long as you have her, you and your partner, that's your responsibility, and you have every right to intercede what other people who are not her parents
That's very true.
are trying to do.
Your number one goal is not to impress others or to kowtow to other people's expectations. Number one goal is to raise your family, and that's up to you guys. You know, you have to defend the family. Hey guys, I hate to do this, but I'm getting nervous. I've got to go. I've got a dog that needs to be run, and then I have to get to a meeting, get together. So I got to go. I'm sorry.
Great talk though. It was really great.
Cool though, huh?
Yeah,
I really enjoyed this.
What do you think about so this is kind of neat. I mean, obviously had some kinks and some technological issues. So just real fast to finish up here. Yeah. In your opinion, like what are because our to be true to our title here is avoid overspending. So what are the things that you do to keep yourself in check when you are shopping and you are out? How do you keep yourself in check? Do you keep yourself in check? Do you just let yourself run wild and pay for it later?
No. I think something that I do is I actually withdraw cash, and once that cash is gone,
that's good.
Done.
Yeah.
I don't, even if that means leaving your credit cards at home, leave your cards at home and just take cash.
Yeah.
Smart.
Yeah. Some people would take their credit card and put it in a glass of water and put it in the freezer.
Nice. So Rose, do you avoid online shopping then?
I do shop online.
I shop online too, but I tend to kind of be the type of person that during the holidays I like to go out and shop. I do too. I like the hustle and bustle of it.
But but like, is that under your guise of only using cash? Then would you avoid the internet?
If I shop on the internet, then I honestly, it just comes down to self-control. You just have to show, I don't know what to say. And if we can't show self-control, I think it's clearly something in the new year.
I think it's, Rose, I think it's having that money, and when it's gone, it's gone. And number two, before you leave the home, have a list of exactly your plan of attack and what you want to get, try to, and that's all. And then, so you don't get out there and go, what was I going to get? Oh, that, and then you get you have that list and you have only so much money.
You have that shiny object syndrome.
And talk with your partner about it beforehand. I mean, make sure that you guys are on the same page and hold each other accountable. Maybe even have for every dollar overspent, I don't know, you do something crazy like do 10 push-ups for every dollar overspent.
Something torturous. You have to give up a glass of wine a day or something. No, that would
well, and I think something, a really smart approach would be you pick a finite number that you can afford to spend at Christmas, and then spend it as cash. Or if you do it online, you keep it like even just a simple text file on your computer where you put down the amounts that you've spent, and just for a spreadsheet would make more sense. But and then you keep that running total so that you know where you're at and you don't lose it. Amazon makes it easy to lose track. I mean, it is. Everything's automated. You got everything right there. It's literally like 2 clicks, click, and you congratulations, you spent $25. I mean, really, it's that simple. Yeah. So you really just, I think those are really I think the cash approach is really smart.
Yeah.
But like having like, this is what we can actually afford at Christmas this year. This is it. And then sticking to it. But then I also, I feel like giving experience gifts is kind of a cool thing, you know? And it, like, you're giving your kids memories as opposed to more stuff.
Agreed.
So,
I think.
Or or
agree.
even like crafts you can do together.
That's good.
That was
Well, bottom
I like
line,
that.
there's lots of options. This is a great topic that we could talk on and on and on about.
Oh,
but
gosh.
Mom, I know you need to go, so
I
Go
got
ahead,
you.
Susan.
let's wrap it up. I got to jump off too.
This is fun. I enjoy this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good idea.
Looking forward to the next one.
Yeah.
Good job, Laura.
When's our next bud meeting?
I think we should. Why don't we do it after Christmas?
Yes,
Yeah, I agree.
I like it.
After the holidays.
Okay, sounds great. Merry Christmas.
I love you all.
Yeah,
Merry
I love you.
Christmas.
See you later.
Guys.
Okay, bye.
Bye.